You knew you didn't want to do it. You felt it before you even answered. That tiny hesitation, half a second. And then you heard yourself say, "Yeah, of course." Not "let me think." Not "actually, I can't." Just yes. Like the answer came out before you even got there. Maybe it was staying late when you'd already put your coat on. Maybe it was, "Sure, I'll come," while some part of you was already tired just imagining it. Maybe someone asked for a favor and you said, "No problem," while your stomach quietly tightened. You didn't really decide. The answer came out like a reflex, fast, automatic, before you had time to check with yourself. And for a moment afterward, there's relief. They smile. They're grateful. The tension in the room drops. For a second, it feels like you did the right thing. But then the conversation ends, and something else starts. Maybe it's later that night, or the next morning, when you're getting ready to actually do the thing you already regret agreeing to. A tightness, a low hum of resentment that you can't quite aim at anyone because they didn't force you. You said yes, maybe before they even finished asking. Sometimes it happens even earlier than that. You see a message come in, and you're already typing the accommodating reply before you've even noticed how you feel about what they asked. And later, you're angry. Not completely at them, mostly at yourself, for doing it again, for knowing somewhere in your chest that you didn't want to, and hearing yourself say yes anyway. You've probably asked yourself why. Why does no feel so much harder to say than the exhaustion that comes after yes? Maybe because saying no risks something you can see immediately. Their face changing, a pause in the conversation, a little disappointment, maybe even a little distance. And saying yes usually costs you something you won't feel until later, when the moment has passed, when you're alone, when no one is there to see you paying for it. So your mind makes the calculation before you even know it's happening. Their visible disappointment now, or your invisible exhaustion later. And somehow, later always loses. Not because you don't matter to yourself, but because in that half second, disappointing someone else feels more dangerous than disappointing you. The next time someone asks you for something, you don't need to suddenly become good at saying no. You don't even need to know your answer yet. That's the part that's easy to miss. You've been trying to change the answer when what you might need first is a little more time before you give one. Because right now, it happens so fast. Someone asks, you feel that little tightening in your stomach. And almost immediately, yeah, sure. So don't start with no. Start with something easier. Let me check. Can I get back to you? I need to see what I've got going on. That's it. You haven't refused them. You haven't disappointed anyone. You haven't even made a decision. You've just given yourself a minute to be part of the decision too. And in that minute, you might notice something you usually miss. You're exhausted. You already had plans. You don't actually want to go. Or maybe you do want to help. And this time, the yes feels different because you actually chose it. That's what we're making room for. Not more no, a real answer. Because there's a difference between helping someone and hearing yourself agree while something inside you is already wishing you hadn't. And yes, the first few times you wait before answering, it may feel uncomfortable. You might want to fill the silence, explain yourself, give them a reason before they've even asked for one. You don't need a perfect explanation. You can simply say, I'll get back to you. Then put your phone down, finish making your coffee, drive home, take a shower. Let the question sit somewhere outside of you for a little while. Then see what your answer sounds like when no one is standing there waiting for it. You may still say yes. Of course you will sometimes. You're someone who cares about people. That doesn't need to disappear. But caring about someone doesn't have to mean answering them before you've heard yourself. So next time you feel that automatic yes coming, don't fight it. Just make it wait a second, long enough to ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? And listen for whatever comes up. Not the polite answer, not the answer that keeps everything easy. Yours. You can decide what to do with it after that. But at least this time, you got to hear it.